accidents with God. I believe it was no accident that he was named Dr. Martin Luther King. King. The eggs that Dr. Adams just talked about were a lie. They were telling everyone those eggs were thrown at that they are not a king. He was able to do what he did because he knew who he was. He was a king. He was a priest. He was ordained of God. He was a child of God, equal to every man. And he walked in that. That is how he was able to not have bitterness and anger in his heart. I've got to tell you, walking in his shoes, I was amazed that he didn't have bitterness and anger in his heart. My dad is here today. He flew in from the UK. Daddy, that's my dad there. Recently, my dad and I were having a conversation. We are from Nigeria. He has 4 tribal marks on each cheek. And on his stomach is cut the word Bale, which means king. I didn't know this. I thought that tribal marks, as a lot of Nigerians have, predated slavery. They were a tradition that we have had for thousands of years. He said no. Tribal marks came from the fact that when we were taken away from Africa, we marked ourselves so that when we made it back, our people knew who we were and where we were from. Oh, Lord. I am the first in my line in over 400 years not to bear those scars. The legacy of slavery is real. The scars we bear are real. The scars Congressman John Lewis bears are real. What I have arrived at is the fact that we cannot let them define us. When you look at my father's face, you see those scars. But when you dig a little deeper, on his stomach, it says King. In my industry, in Hollywood, we are celebrated more for being broken and subservient than playing kings, than being leaders, than being in the center of our own narrative. I stand before you today as a man who has played a king. So my charge to each and every one of us today, every time you drive down Martin Luther King Boulevard, every time we celebrate Dr. King's birthday, every time you say his name, let it remind you who you are. God bless you.